side.
How do we know that we're live?
We're live. Okay, hold on. Um, Okay, all right, we're live. So we're trying a new streaming software today. So apologies, we were late, having some technical difficulty. But if you guys can hear us and see us, please comment and let us know that you can actually see us and hear us. Yeah, I have no idea if we're actually live, but we're just gonna roll with it. And
It says live.
okay, then we're live. So we are live Thursday Talks with the Costales team. I'm Jeraine and okay.
I am Mark. Hello.
Okay. All right. I don't know. Anyhow, so today we're talking about what are some of the biggest mistakes people are already making in 2025. And, I feel like 2025 got started really early and I was able to see a lot of things already, even though we're still in first quarter. We're in like week 10, rounding third base of, of Q1, and about to head into second quarter. And so, did you want to share maybe something, Mark, that you've already seen just in the past 10 weeks of 2025 that is a big mistake that some people are making?
Um, well, first of all, I've been seeing or hearing people make mistakes about baseball analogies because how do you round third and then go to second? So,
Funny.
anyways, no. I mean, if we're talking professionally, um, a lot of people are waiting. I've seen a lot of people. Well, some of the biggest mistakes I've been seeing, real estate wise, right? We're talking real estate wise. Homes that are being overpriced, and they're listing homes that are closer to what I mean, just higher, what maybe a number that the seller and the real estate agent or the listing agent have kind of agreed upon, right? Which is a high number, which does not equate to what the comps are or what the market is saying. So that will cause your listing to go stale and will not be looked at. So that's one mistake I've been seeing professionally when it comes to real estate. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, since we're speaking about professionally, I can think about a few different mistakes that we've already seen this week alone. And another mistake that I would say that we've seen is not preparing a home properly when you put it on the
Mm,
market and you're
mm,
showing it. We've seen multiple listings this week where the agent or the seller still has boxes in the living room or broken furniture, um, household appliances like vacuums and boxes and big old light bulbs in the middle of the living room and hampers. And um, it just doesn't reflect a clean home or a prepared home. Um, it literally looks like you are walking into someone else's home, and they weren't ready for you to come over. That's kind of the look or the feel that I get from that. And so I know when buyers are looking to purchase a property, they want a home that is the best deal per se, or the greatest value, or gives them the biggest return on their investment. So they want something that's clean. They want something that has as little repairs as possible. They want something that's been taken care of and not something that looks like it just walked out of the 1970s and has laundry everywhere. So yeah, that's something that I've been seeing is not properly presenting. Um, I mean, I've seen it online in listing photos. I've seen it in agent videos. I've seen it at open houses. And it just doesn't look like there was a lot of effort from the seller or the agent to get that home ready, um, and showcase it in its best light. You're trying to sell something, so put the effort in and make it look like you're trying to make this thing shine, right? Just like if you were to sell a car, you wouldn't roll up
right.
and meet your buyer after you just went off-roading and there's mud and your kids were eating french fries and left a big stain, a chocolate milkshake stain in the back, with dog hair all over it, right? Like that's no way to present your car if you were selling it. So the same analogy for presenting your home when you're trying to sell it. Like take your car to the car wash, vacuum it, fix the broken things that need to be fixed. So, yeah.
Right, and I think that so I'm starting like a new Wednesdays. I'm posting on Wednesdays about things that are just going on in the market that I noticed. It's called "What in the MLS." So it's like I just showcase. I won't show addresses. I won't show agents. I'm not going to do that. But and I try not to expose, and try to call out agents. I'm just saying in general when um, when I see a home and I could see somebody in the mirror, or I can clearly tell that these were cell phone pictures, or somebody looks like they were taking this with like a disposable camera, or any of those things. It's like I have to think, what is the worst situation where the seller is telling the listing agent, "Hey, I want to sell my home. What are you going to do?" From seller to listing agent, what are you going to do to help my home get sold? And has like the presentation not been brought up, right? Has that conversation of, hey, maybe we should put these items away for photos, for anything, right? I mean, because you got to present it. I mean, over 90% of buyers right now are looking online first before they even come take a look at a house, right? If you're gonna showcase a house like some of these homes are, you probably shouldn't even put it in MLS. You should probably just shoot it to investors or people that are looking to buy homes that are not in great condition, because that already foretells the story of who's living there, and if they have like ownership, they take care of the house while they were there, right? Because then it's like, oh my gosh, you peel away at an onion. If they didn't take care of the house, what more for something else that was, maybe delayed in their fixing, or did they do some maintenance that they did not maintain, or things like that. And at least that's for me in my lens as somebody that has seen hundreds of homes, if not thousands, right? And it's like, how can I present this to a potential new homeowner and say, hey, come here, come take a look at this home that this seller is presenting, and buy me. Like, how can you present that when you got like socks in your video? You have, I mean, just stuff on the counter on photos. Like you have, it's insane to think like they're okay with that. The listing agent's like, okay, I'm gonna post this, and like, cause you physically have to go in and like put these photos in. So I'm like, they see this. Do they not care? Is that all they have? Right? So I mean, again, the circumstances might be different. We might not know, but I'm just saying, if that is the goal, is that brought up? Is that a conversation that's been had? So that's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at some pictures of homes today, and these are multi-million dollar homes. These are homes over $1 million that obviously the agent is taking them with his phone. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, at least put it in point 0.5. Like, do you have an iPhone at least? Because it's like I'm trying to see this huge room or this big estate, and it literally has a photo that's like this big and you can barely see, and half the room's cut off. And I'm like, whoa. Um, but yeah, I mean, to each his own. That's every quality of agent is different. Every agent has a different marketing plan or lack thereof. I mean, we always hire a professional photographer, professional videographer. That's something we, don't skimp on when it comes to what we do for our clients when we're trying to get a home sold. But everyone's
And mind
different.
you,
So
price point. So I didn't mean to cut you off, but mind you, price point, whether it be a mobile home or a multi-million dollar home, anything in between, the standard does not change, right?
yep, yep. And I mean, like I said, that's one big mistake people are making in 2025. not putting professional photos, not preparing the home properly for sale, and that's going to cause those homes to sit on the market or to sell for a lower price. Another mistake that people are already making in 2025. What do you have? Do you have something?
Um, I think that advising is also um, a, a huge part of it. When I hear of people, buyers in the open market, um, I hear from them at an open house, and I speak to their agent, and their agent has absolutely no idea that they went to go look at homes, right? And I say, "Oh, hey, I actually met your client at our open house. She told me your name, and I thought I'd reach out to see if they're interested in possibly submitting an offer." And they're like, "Oh, they went to go look at open houses? Oh, I didn't even know. I thought they were looking over here or at this particular price point." And it's like, do you not know what your clients are doing? Are you not aware of what's going on? And it's like, I always ask that question during an open house and say, did your agent send you here, or how did you end up finding it? And they're like, no, we just happened to come take a look. And it's funny because like when I ask them, they have an agent, and I ask these questions, they just don't know any of the things that I'm asking, and they're basic questions, right? So it's just like, for me, I always see that as like the agent not advising their client properly, or they just don't know about them. Maybe they just found them and their friend recommended them, and all of a sudden they think it's like a slam dunk deal where, oh my gosh, they choose me because they know somebody else. I mean, that is a huge like letdown if you
So what is
assume
so what is
that
what
you don't
is
need to do anything.
so sorry to cut you off, but so what is the mistake you would say? Like if you had to say it.
I mean, I would say the lack of advising that a real estate agent is doing for their client, because I can see that when the client goes to an open house and they're completely unaware of some of the basic questions that I asked.
That's good. For example, we had an agent contact us yesterday, and she said that her buyers would not be submitting an offer on our listing. And again, we want to be able to advise our sellers and the clients that we represent. And so my question to the agent was, well, is there something about the property? Is there feedback that we could share with the seller? Is there a reason why your buyers decided not to move forward with this property and, you know, not write an offer? Like, did they find another home? Is there something about this home they don't like? And the agent said, I don't know. And I said, that's so weird. Like, how, again, to your example, how do you not know what your client's thinking, or how do you not know what they need, or how do you not know um, why they decided to move on from this home? Because like you said, that is part of advising. I would even take it a step further and say the mistake is not asking enough questions, because if a client said, "Oh yeah, I don't like this home. I'm going to move on. Let's look at others." Well, I would want to know, what is it? If I were representing that buyer, I would want to know, well, what is it about this home that you don't like? Maybe it's something that we can fix, or maybe the seller can fix, or, if you were able to get this home at a less expensive price, would that change how you felt about the home? Right. And just trying to figure out solutions and giving my buyer options versus just saying, okay, you don't like it, let's go find something else. But it's like, well, what don't you like about it? So that way we don't waste our time looking at homes that look like this if you don't like homes that look like this, right? Or maybe it's the price point, maybe it's the location, I don't know. But being able to advise someone properly means knowing what they're looking for and what they want, and that involves asking questions, not just taking what they say and then moving on. So I thought that was very interesting that that agent said she didn't know why her clients didn't want to write an offer, and that was that. And we were like, well, can you ask them? And she was like, I'll try. Like, what? Do you not know these people? Like,
I mean, but also too, like I spoke to that same agent, and um, she asked the same questions as if we didn't have the same conversation. And then she was asking me, like, hey, so you know that other home that went pending? Do you happen to know what it's sold for or what it's selling for? I'm like, I'm not gonna tell you what you're supposed to do, right? I mean, that's the research that I actually gained, right? And again, I know we're supposed to help agents, but I mean, I'm not just going to hand them and give them the information that I took my time to go reach out to this agent, right? And it's like it's interesting because I actually did get a hold of that agent that was actually pending, and she gave me a whole bunch of information, right? So again, the agent didn't really advise their client because she was just unaware of the things that were going on with their client, right? And not to say that you have control over your client, but they're seeking advice from you because you are the professional. You should be able to guide your client in the right light, and you should be able to give them the best information, the best advice that suits them so they can agree to an offer that there's a lot of agents out there. Again, I try to give more information than anything else, and we do that, both Drain and I give them more information than they're supposed to. But I mean, again, at least they're not lacking. I'd rather say, oh my gosh, Mark talked his ear off about all the information about it, and it's overwhelming. At least I gave you the information. There's not like, oh, Mark didn't tell me this. So
Yep. Yep. I agree completely. Um, what is another big mistake? I'm getting so tongue-tied. What is another big mistake that people are already making in 2025 that you've observed? I
go
have, but I don't know if you have one.
ahead, go ahead. I have a few, but I'll wait. I went already, so your turn.
So for me, this is it can be personal and professional. And for me, I think it's giving up too early, right? Giving up too soon. Whether it's agents that I've seen that are already discouraged because maybe they're new agents or they're not getting business or not seeing the results that they want to get, whether it's buyers that are not seeing the homes that they like, or there's limited inventory available and the homes that are in their price range aren't like the best. They're not falling in love with those homes. And then with sellers, like not getting offers after 2 weeks or a month, even all of a sudden it's like, oh no, is something wrong? So in all of those situations, whether you're buying, selling, and even in personal development, I'm seeing people that are giving up too soon and just getting discouraged too quickly. And like I said at the beginning of this, we're only in Q1 or third base of this baseball game. So, I mean, there's still a long way to go. So,
Right. And we understand that people have expectations, right? And as long as we advise our clients like, hey, we've only been on the market for 2 days, right? The average days on market in your particular city is anywhere between 30 and 35. It's like, why? I mean, again, right? 2 days, you're only on the market. Just let the process take its course, right? And things will progress into what the market will bear. Because I mean, again, I've been hearing that March and February we're going to be busy leading into the spring market. It's supposed to come really early. And for us, we've been seeing, 2025 kind of bloom, and we've started 2025 in our first quarter, kind of, I mean, busy. And typically, usually people take a back seat to taxes, and that's when spring starts, hitting, and then you go into summer, and then people kind of slow down towards fall. But I mean, I think it's going to continue and gradually get into summer, and then people might slow down midsummer before school starts. So that's kind of my prediction on what I see happening, just because I see the trend.
yeah, it's funny that like I don't know if I just am feeling optimistic because it's 2025 and we have big goals and I'm just looking towards the future and reaching all my goals. But I feel like 2025 is going to be the best year that some people have ever had in their life, whether it's personal, professional. Um, yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I mean, I mean, we have to be optimistic, right? I mean, a lot of people that we know did not have a great year last year. We were grateful enough to at least have a decent enough year that we were okay. But there's some agents in the Bay Area, even not even just in the Bay Area, just nationwide, just saw a massive reduction in production that they were doing. So let me just repeat that: a massive reduction in their production, meaning that they were selling. I've heard somebody say in like the Midwest, we were selling over 125 homes and we ended up only selling 60. And I'm like, that's a lot, depending on your price point. But I mean, again, that's still, and that's just nationwide. A lot of people's production either dropped, anywhere between 40 to 70%, which is huge. And what was the statistic? There was over, in 2024, there were over, I forgot what the number was. It was
75,
over like,
about 75% of realtors did not sell a single home.
that's crazy. Yeah, that's insane. Either you just were living off your 2023 money and like kind of coasted in 2024. I mean, I don't know if that's kind of the case for some agents, but I mean, you can't celebrate too much. You just got to continue to keep on going, right? And I've told agents this before. You got to think about yourself as a cook. You got multiple things cooking in your kitchen, right? You can't just stop cooking because people are still going to want to eat, right? So, and again, I have a lot of analogies when it comes to that. But what are some other mistakes that you've seen, Jerry?
Yeah, I mean, talking about that statistic, 75% of realtors did not sell a single home in 2024. 75%. Um, and so I I think the mistake that people are maybe already making in 2025, right, is not putting in the work. Um, and the mistake that maybe some people were making in 2024 is letting the market dictate, or letting the doom and gloom and the fear that they're hearing on the news and the presidency and what's happening in another country, or what's happening with taxes, or what's happening with interest rates. And I heard this on the market on CNN, CNBC, MSNBC, all those things, is people let those things dictate what they're going to do, and it paralyzes them, or it stops them from being able to take advantage of the market. I think about this all the time. In 2020, I remember 20 I think it was around 2020. I went somewhere and I met another realtor, and she said, "The market sucks right now." And those were her words, and I couldn't believe what I was hearing, because I was like, "You're a realtor, like, you're not really supposed to say that, because how do you know the market sucks?" Like, people are making money, their homes are increasing in value, people are getting into homes and their home values are increasing, but it was a time where there was a lot of competition, interest rates were the lowest they had been in 50 years, and buyers were having to overpay and overbid and compete with multiple offers, and a lot of agents couldn't get their clients' offers accepted. We would get our clients' offers accepted in 2 weeks. We would get their first offer accepted. We would get offers accepted even though we weren't the highest offer. And, there are a lot of strategies on how to write a competitive offer, especially in a competitive market. But for us, we helped more people in 2020 than get into homes than we ever had, in any other year that we've been selling real estate. And so for us, like, we thought the market was great, and a lot of other agents would say that the market is great. But from that perspective, maybe that agent wasn't doing a lot of business. Maybe that agent didn't know how to write a competitive offer, right? Like, yeah, the market sucked for them. The market sucked for your buyers and the people that you're representing, but the market was awesome for a lot of people, because home prices were literally going up tens of thousands of dollars week by week by week. The builders loved it. People that were selling loved it. There's always opportunity in the market. And so if someone was looking to sell at that point, I'm pretty sure they're pretty happy with how much their home sold, during that year or that point in time. And so, I mean, I still think about that, because it kind of shocked me that that agent said that. And there are a lot of agents that could say last year, 75% of realtors didn't sell a single home in 2024, and they could say, "Oh, the market is tough for realtors. Oh, the market sucks. Home sales are down." But that's always kind of been the market. Like, 95% of realtors fail within the first 5 years. It's always been tough for realtors. Like, this isn't new. And when, you know, in 2020, it's a different market than we're in now, and people are saying like, oh, interest rates are high, it's taking homes longer to sell, there's less inventory available, the home sales are down. Yeah, because interest rates are higher and people aren't moving as much, or there's reasons that they want to stay in their home and keep those record low interest rates. Um, doesn't mean the market sucks, right? Like, I don't know. I just, I feel like,
Yeah.
yeah, we're going to listen to the news and be updated on current affairs and current events and things like that. But at the same time, data can only take you so far. Like if you have to sell your home because you lost your job and you can't afford to make your payments, you're going to sell your home regardless of the market, if it's down or up. You're going to try to put that thing on the market, and try to sell it. And the same thing for someone who needs to buy a home. Like, and we were talking about this morning, you know, someone being afraid of buying a home because, oh, they might do cuts at their job. Did they announce that they're doing cuts at your job? Did they say they're doing cuts at your job? Is there going to be a next round of cuts? Like you don't know. And so it's like, well, how long are you going to wait till you feel secure? And what is your plan B? Like if they do cuts at your job, like are you not going to look for another job? Are you going to move out of your apartment and stop paying rent or stop paying your mortgage? No, you're going to find another job and you're going to make your payments. So, you know, again, it's I understand people will not operate in uncertainty and it'll paralyze them, but there are definitely ways that you can feel safe and secure in moving forward. Um, I guess given the right information, and that's why it's so important to work with an agent that is knowledgeable, that knows what's happening in the market, so that you can pivot and make the best decisions available for your specific financial situation, um, and not just say, "Oh, the market sucks because MSNBC said," or our world is going to, you know, is going up in flames because someone is president, right? Like you hear all these people saying all these things. And then other people are ecstatic.
Yeah.
They're like,
I mean,
oh my
I I agree. But I mean, I think that the switching to being these realtors, right? I think you need to shift your focus. You focus on the problem, you will continue to sit and think about this problem, continue to dig about this problem, and you will just research yourself to death about the problem but not find a solution, right? If the All right, just think about it like this. Realtors, listen up. The market's always going to suck. Just think about it like that. But what are you going to do to make it unsuck, right? If the interest rates are low, what are you doing? I mean, interest rates are high. What are you doing to advise clients? Because people have to move, right? What those people have to move, right? There's a president. Okay, things you can't control, whatever, right? You're sitting there looking at the news, right? How about turn the news off? Think about a process. Think about something you could do in order for you to bring some sort of knowledge to somebody else, right? Because in 2020 it was all about information that nobody knows. Not everybody knows what's going on. You bring information, you bring value to these problems. So therefore, one, you could help solve it, or two, just pivot, right? Because it doesn't benefit you to say, hey, the market sucks and do nothing about it, right? You can, I mean, when I see this all over Facebook, and I'm part of so many different Facebook groups, like I hear agents saying, I'm gonna go back to a 9 to 5. I'm gonna, I need a side hustle because I haven't found a deal in over 2 years. I'm like, where are you looking? Right? I mean, pivot. If whatever you're doing obviously hasn't worked, right? Try multiple different things and think about the one that actually leads you to one that actually works, right? Find a solution to the problem instead of focusing on the problem, because the problem doesn't solve anything. Your pockets are still empty, right? Your deals in your account are not building up, right? What are you doing in order to pivot from a sucky market, right? So pivot. You know what I'm saying? If you're, like I said, Jordan said it before, it's like paralysis by analysis. It's like, I mean, or analysis by paralysis, or whatever way it goes. You're paralyzing yourself because you are stuck with a problem. Think about a solution. Ask people. There are so many resources. You can ask ChatGPT for free, right? You can even Google it. There's so many resources that we have, and thank God that the real estate agents prior to our generation did all that homework so that we can take advantage of it. But now we have all this information at this literally at our fingertips to at least sound smart, right? I mean, dude, sometimes fake it till you make it, but I mean, until you get to that point, like get to the point where you're knowledgeable and you know your craft. Because when you get put in front of $1 million listing or $1 million buyer, what are you gonna do? Oh, the market sucks. You're gonna tell them that? Like, come on, man. You gotta acknowledge yourself, man. During COVID, Jordan and I were like, how are we not going to work while we were homeschooling our kids? What are we going to do in order to pivot from a global pandemic, right, and a presidential election? Those two things are catastrophic when it comes to production and anything that's essential for us. So just think about that. Pivot. Agents need to start pivoting a whole lot more, because that's 75% of the market. Some people take advantage of it. Nobody. You guys that sell a house, trust me, there's a lot of people that take advantage of your ill will to pivot. So
Yep. Well, we've been on here for, I don't know, how long have we been on
31
here?
minutes now, not
31
too.
minutes. Yeah, 31 minutes. I don't see any other questions or anything on here. So
The
I think
comments are crazy. This is insane.
I know. You can see the comments.
Yeah, I'm reporting to ICE, and they spelled reporting wrong.
How about the one where it said, I don't know how to tell you this, but you have people living in your walls and they want to eat your skin? That was
Yeah,
creepy. That's
yeah,
creepy.
yeah. Yeah. See, when you got people like that are so negative, just let them think that there are people living in my walls, and they're gonna come to your house too. So stupid. Um, yeah. All right. Well, good night, everybody. Thank you guys for joining. And yes, is it Yesenia
Yeah,
Moncada? She says she can I ask a question.
yeah. If you have a question, feel free to drop it in the comments. Oh, look, the questions
Sure,
appear
Yesenia.
on the screen. Interesting. So all the comments appear on the stream. This is crazy.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Ask
Um,
away, Yesenia Moncada.
I
Is
don't
it
know
going to
if
be a
she's
weird question?
I don't know if she's still there, but okay. If we have no other questions, then I guess we'll just end it now, and you guys can still leave your comments in the video, and we'll answer your question next week. Oh, there it is. How do buyers feel about virtual pictures? Mark, do you want to answer that?
Um, if you're, I mean, I think that it depends on the strategy, right? Virtual pictures are okay when it comes to budget, because not every single client or not every single realtor can cover the cost for an actual staging, right? I'm sorry. Buyers feel about virtual pictures. Give me a little bit more explanation on what that means. Jane, do you understand what that means?
I think she's talking about virtual staging, right? Maybe in the pictures where they don't
Yeah,
always
I mean,
reflect
that's
what's
what I'm thinking. So you said yeah, if you can shed a little bit more light on, are you talking about virtual staging? Because all the pictures we're seeing online are virtual, kind of. So, um,
yeah.
yeah.
But I mean,
Are you able to
let's
shed
just
a little bit more light on that question? Any?
assuming that we're talking about virtual staging. Yeah, so like for staging.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I mean, as long as the photos, right? I mean, I think it's a great idea for agents to show a picture of the same exact picture, virtually staged and then not staged. So that way, the buyers that are looking online can see, oh, okay, so that's what it looks like, and make sure that it's stated that it's virtual staging. Because the one thing you don't want is for a buyer to be like, oh my gosh, this looks great. They get there and they're like, what happened? Did somebody steal? I mean, for a home, I mean, I think 10 out of 10 people that come to our house and they're like, they see the home and they say, "Oh my gosh, it looks so much better in person." So I mean, I think that's a great, a great thing for us because it's like usually it's the other way around. People are like, "Oh my gosh, it looks so much worse in person than it does online," right? Because then the pictures are very deceiving. I think yeah, for staging, she said for staging, think comments are delayed. You don't want buyers to feel bamboozled, of course. And again, you're referring to virtual staging, and I think that's a great way as a listing agent to one, make sure that it is visual, telling you that it's virtually staged, showing it before that is not staged, and one that is virtually staged, so that way they can get a picture. They won't feel bamboozled. I've seen it online. People do it all the time, and it's a great way to show a buyer like, hey, this is what it looks like, staged, or this is what it looks like, plain. If you want to put your your couch here in this particular area that you're looking at, right? So give perspective as long as you actually know that they're not going to be, bait and switch, like, gotcha. This place does not have any furniture, So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I think as long as you disclose it and a buyer
yep,
can see that that's a virtual staging versus an empty room, um, I mean, perfectly fine. Yeah. I think obviously though, when you go into the space and see it in person, there's definitely going to be a different feeling when you walk into a house that is empty and has no furniture versus walking into a fully furnished, nicely staged home that can make people feel warm and fuzzy when they walk in and they can see, oh, there's a big couch here. We have this couch. Or, oh, you could fit a dining table here versus sometimes people don't have imagination or have a hard time visualizing how to use the space and what goes where. And so when you actually have physical staging in the home in real life, it will help someone visualize it a little bit easier than if it was just completely bare and empty. So, I mean, if you can do it
yeah,
in
and it
person.
also goes back to like, yeah, and it also goes back to the agent, right? So if your client is going to look at these homes and you're not aware of it, it should be like this. The buyer should be like, "Hey, Mark, I like this property over here. I'm going to go take a look at it this weekend." You literally can take the address, look it up on MLS, take a look at the home, notate some things that you like and you don't like, because you want to bring that up to your client, right? You want to tell them like, "Hey, I saw you were looking at 123 Banana Street, but you mentioned you didn't want to be next to a school, and yet there's a school right around the corner. Do you still want to go take a look at it?" Or mention what Yesenia was talking about. Just I want to let you know the pictures look great, but the property is virtually staged, meaning that that furniture is not there. So when you go there to view it, it's going to be completely empty, or there might be a few furniture pieces. We don't know. Just know that it is virtually staged. If you can see on the photos here, it shows that this is what it looks like when it's not staged, and this is what it looks like when it's virtually staged. So that's what it looks like. So again, it goes back to the agent telling the buyer, "Hey, this is what it is," so they can notate it, because buyers aren't looking for that. They're just seeing, "Hey, house looks good, price looks good. Let's go take a look." There, you that'll imagine going to this place, going to this house, and you're like, "Oh man, there's a school. I don't want this anymore." Complete waste of your day. You see what I'm saying? So be be um be mindful of your time, but also be mindful for your client, because your client will appreciate it. Like, "Oh yeah, you know what? You're right. I do not want a school by me, and I do not want crazy kids yelling as they leave school." So,
Mhm. Yep, I agree.
all
All right. So
right, everybody.
thank you, Mark, for being on here. Thank you, everybody that joined us, and for all the questions and comments. This was really fun. We're using a new software today, so I was kind of worried, but I really like it. I think we're going to keep using it. So we'll see.
All right,
See you guys.
sounds good. Have a
Oh,
great
and
weekend, everybody.
next week is Mark's birthday. So
Oh,
I don't know if we're going live. So next
we'll be live
Thursday,
from
I don't know.
never mind.
Drop a comment if you want us to go live on Mark's birthday. We should make a poll and ask people, do they want us to go live on your birthday, or should we just give you the day off? All right.
All right. Good night,
Bye.
everybody.